guys, it's Shawnee, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101. So today I'm going to be doing a review video on a new product that has been getting a lot of buzz here on YouTube. And these are the new Milani Baked Blushes. This is what they look like. And these have been getting a ton of hype, a ton of praise, a ton of, oh my goodness, this is amazing kind of comments. So I went out and I got a couple of them, and I have to say, with all honesty, I am blown away. These are great drugstore blushes, and this is a perfect example of how drugstore products are creeping up on high-end products and really making a comeback and showing you that you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a good product. So here's an overview of the packaging. It looks like so. It's got a label on the back. Depending on the shade, obviously, it's going to depend. And it's got like this gold, I don't know, plasticky stuff on the front. The packaging, to be completely honest, is not my favorite. It's okay, it seems a little excessive and a little bulky, but the product totally makes up for it. And when you open it up, these are a little difficult to get open. But anyways, when you open it up, it just flips up like so. And this is clear up here. And then you have your baked blush. It is domed, just like all baked blushes are. And then if you flip this back, it comes with a mirror, which I'm not going to blind you, but there is a mirror here, and a brush. Now, this brush is not really that great. I wouldn't really recommend using it. It does work in a pinch, but it's pretty stiff and pretty hard, and I would never use it, ever. I'd honestly rather apply the blush with my fingers than I would with this thing. But that's totally my opinion. So that brush, it's not going to do anything for me, but the blush is amazing. So this shade that I've been holding up is called Dolce Pink. It is number 1. It's sort of like a corally, goldy shade. It's like a coral base with a ton of gold, overlay or like gold shimmer in it. It's not really an overspray because it is still there when you swatch the product, but it's like gold veining almost. It's a little difficult to describe. It's very pretty. The next one I have is called Rose d'Oro. And here's what Rose d'Oro looks like. This one is a darker shade. It's sort of like a burnt orange shade with that gold veining in it. The next shade is called Berry Amore. And here's Berry Amore. Not quite as much gold shimmer in it, but it's sort of like a berry mauve color with slight gold veining in it. The next shade I have is called Luminoso. And here is Luminoso. This is one of those powders that has the least amount of veining in it and the least amount of shimmer in it. It's just like a light peachy coral color. The next shade I got is called Bellissimo Bronze. And this one is just a really pretty bronzy shade. It's like a bronzy peach almost. And this one does have quite a bit of shimmer in it. The next shade is called Fantastico Mauve. And here's what Fantastico Mauve looks like. This one has quite a bit of marbleizing in it. The other one that was in the store didn't have quite as much marble in it. But I picked this one because I thought it was prettier. And this one also has some gold shimmer in it, but this is one of the least shimmery ones. The next shade is called Corallina. And here's what Corallina looks like. This one is like a bright tangerine orange shade, and this has some like cream colored veining in it and silver flecks. Most of them have gold flecks, but this one has silver flecks, so it makes it a little different. And the last one I got is called Red Vino. And here's Red Vino. It's like a dark burgundy shade with a ton of gold shimmer throughout it. Very pretty. So as you can see, there are 9 different shades of this blush. I'm actually missing one. I only showed you guys 8. I'm missing number 4, and that's called, I believe, Terra Sol or something like that. I'm missing that because none of the stores near me have that. They don't even have that number on the display. So I feel like they're not going to get it in. So if anybody knows where I can get that, other than Cherry Culture, I know you can get it on cherryculture.com, but at the moment cherryculture.com is sold out. And cherryculture.com is sold out of a lot of these shades. So yeah, these are definitely in high demand. Okay, so now I'm just going to give you guys a quick overview of these blushes. I already showed you the individual shades, but this is just kind of an overview of the overall line. First of all, these blushes, you get 3.5 grams in each blush, and these retail for approximately $7.49. That is how much they were at my Walgreens, but because these are a drugstore item, prices will vary depending on what store you buy it from, where you live in the country, so expect the price to go up and down about $1, but I don't think these should be more than about $8. Now, while that might seem a little pricey, because these are on the pricier side of drugstore items, normally drugstore items retail for about $5 or $6. So, you know, these are a little bit higher at around $8 a piece. These are very comparable to MAC mineralized blushes or even more MAC mineralized skin finishes. So every single shade I showed you does have shimmer in it. All of these have shimmer in it, and it's not a frosty shimmer per se. It's more of like, it seems to be like a matte or satin finish blush with little specks of, okay, I'm going to say a word here and it's going to scare some of you guys, but please don't be scared. Little specks of glitter. Now I know, oh my gosh, everybody's like, glitter? Move, everybody leave, don't get these, they're bad, they're glittery. No, it's not what I mean. When I say glitter, I mean very, very, very fine specks of glitter, almost like a micro shimmer in there, but it's not frosty, and it's not gonna like look overly frosty on your cheeks. It's just gonna give you like a hint of a glow, and if you go out in the sunlight, you'll be able to see the shimmer a lot more, obviously, because the sunlight reflects off of it, and it's gonna give you kind of like a natural glowy finish. Now, if you don't like shimmer or glitter on your cheeks, if you prefer just completely matte satin finish blushes, then these are not gonna be for you, because all of these do have a little bit of like shimmer, glitter in them. Don't be scared when I say glitter. I'm not talking chunky glitter at all. Now, I personally don't own any single mineralized blushes from MAC. I do own like the duos and stuff, but I feel like those are a little bit different than like the single individual blushes, but these are super comparable to the MAC mineralized skin finishes. And this particular one is in Stereo Rose, very, very coveted, extremely hard to find, and there is actually a dupe. One of these 8 blushes that I showed you is actually a dupe of Stereo Rose. Now, it's not a 100% exact spot on, this is a dupe. It's very similar though, and on the cheeks, it looks really, really similar. Now, I took individual swatches of all of these blushes and I put it on my wrist and I videotaped it really closely so you could see all of them side by side, as well as all of them compared to Stereo Rose. I know this is the goal right here. Everybody wants this product, Stereo Rose. I mean, I do have Petticoat and I have By Candlelight, you know, and I have those other MSFs, but I know this is the one, this is like the gold mine right here. This is the one that everybody wants to dupe. So I put Stereo Rose across the top of my wrist, and then I swatched all the other ones next to it, and you'll see what I mean in the swatch video, and I'm going to insert that clip right here. Okay, so here are all 8 of the blushes that I have. They're all swatched vertically, and then this strip right up here at the top, that is Stereo Rose. It's going all the way across. The sun is slightly washing out the colors here, but hopefully you get the general idea. Okay, so this first one right here, it's like a light pink iridescent shade with like silver glitter in it, and that is Dolce Pink. Then this second one, which is more of like a peachy color, it's like a peachy bronze, that's Rose d'Oro. Then this third shade here, which is sort of like a berry pink, that is Berry Amore. Then this fourth one right here, which is the closest one to Stereo Rose, that is called Luminoso. It's like a bright peachy coral shade. Then this next one next to it, that's sort of like a bronzy shade, that's Bellissimo Bronze. Then the one next to it, which is the most mauve shade, it's like a mauve plum, that is Fantastico Mauve. Then the one next to that mauve shade, which is sort of like a corally bronze color, that's called Corallina. And then this last shade on the very end, it's kind of like a bright red shade. This is probably one of the least pigmented though, which is a little surprising, but that's called Red Vino. So hopefully you can kind of see that compared to the Stereo Rose up at the top. Luminoso is definitely the closest one to Stereo Rose, and it's almost an exact dupe. So like I said in the video, this one right here, Luminoso, is almost an exact dupe of Stereo Rose. And I'm going to put them next to each other, and they're not really going to look that similar. Obviously, Stereo Rose has a lot more veining in it, but when you swatch it, they're very similar. Now, one thing you guys need to keep in mind with these blushes and also with the MAC Mineralized Skin Finishes is because these are a marbleized baked product, everybody's is going to be a little different, and everybody's, when you swatch it, is also going to be a little bit different. You know, so my Stereo Rose might look a little different swatched than somebody else's Stereo Rose. You know, if somebody else had a lot more of the brown veining in theirs, if it was, you know, a lot of brown veining, it might look a little darker. You know, if somebody has no brown veining in theirs at all, it might look a little bit more coral. So everybody's is going to vary a little bit, and that's also with the Milani blushes. It's the same deal. Everybody's is going to vary a little bit depending on how much marbleizing you have, how much color they've put into yours. So it will vary, you know, blush to blush. But overall, I think these are very similar. Luminoso and Stereo Rose are very, very similar. Now I'm going to do a quick comparison for you guys on the amount of product you get in each and the price. You get about 10 grams of the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish for approximately $28. That means you're spending approximately $2.80 per gram of product. In the Milani blushes, I approximated about $7.50, and you get 3.5 grams in here. So each gram retails for about $2.14. So the Milani blushes are a better deal than the MAC, but they're not that much of a better deal when you think about it. I mean, one is $2.14 per gram, one is $2.80 per gram. So, I mean, it's not that huge of a difference, but there is a difference nonetheless. One other thing that I want to mention about these blushes is the wear time. When you wear any mineralized product, at least on me, I know, you know, it's going to vary person to person, but at least on me, blushes tend to last all day. But mineralized products in general, whether it be MAC or whether it be Milani, it doesn't matter, they tend to wear a little bit less, and the color seems to fade quicker. Now, I don't know whether that's because of the formulation of these, but just in general, they tend to not wear as long on me. I can get approximately 4 to 5 hours of wear out of these before I can tell that my blush is fading and the color is, you know, going down and it's time to reapply. So about 4 to 5 hours, not a great time wear, but that's the same with the MAC, and it's the same with the Milani. So, you know, that's not to say that the Milani is inferior quality to the MAC, because they both fade after about 4 to 5 hours on me. Another thing I want to mention about these is these are powdery. Because they're a mineralized baked product, they are powdery. And, you know, when you stick your brush in them, you will get loose excess dust falling off because they're baked and they're not as compressed together, if that makes sense. So when you know, swirl your brush around, you will get some loose powder flying places, but that's the same exact thing with the MAC. So it's just the formulation of the mineralized product. Because they're not condensed and they're not tightly packed, you know, you will get some loose powder. So don't be alarmed. I just want to warn you guys that if you guys don't like kind of like powdery products, you know, you might want to just test these out first. But if you can handle the MAC powderiness of the MAC Mineralized Skin Finishes, then these will be fine. So yeah, that's really all I have to say. I love these so much. Obviously, I bought all 8 that I could get my hands on, so I must really, really like them, and I do. I do recommend you guys check them out. Places to find them. I could only find them at my local Walgreens and Target. Walgreens has almost the whole range. They have all the shades 1 through 9 except for shade number 4, at least where I live. None of my Walgreens sell shade number 4. You will find them in the normal Milani aisle. They don't have a separate display or anything. Just go to where your normal Milani stuff is, and they should be right in there with all the normal stuff. And that's the same with Target. They should be in with the normal Milani products at your local Target if your Target sells Milani. My Target does sell Milani, but they sell very limited items, and they only had about 3 or 4 different shades. So if you want the whole range of shades, I recommend going to Walgreens. I don't know the price of these at Target though. I know Walgreens had them for $7.49, so I think Target should be about the same. And also, if you're planning on getting these, I say hold off for a BOGO. Wait till Milani goes on buy one get one half off or buy one get one free, because Walgreens always has those discounts. So if you wait for a BOGO, you'll be able to get these at an even cheaper rate. So yeah, that's really everything. Overall, I have to give these a 5 out of 5 stars. I really have nothing to complain about with these, other than the fact that the packaging is a little excessive and a little bulky, you know, with the extra mirror and the brush. I mean, it's unnecessary and it's a little hard to open, but on the bright side, it does close tightly, so if you did want to travel with this, you don't have to worry about it flying open, because it won't. It closes pretty securely. So yeah, that's everything. I hope you guys go check these out. If you guys have any other questions on these Milani Baked Blushes, please feel free to let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.